saying anything because it's not going to get any better than that. I'm just going to ruin it. That was the nicest thing anyone has ever said about me, including my mother. I would like a copy of that if you have it. And 90% of it is too generous. But I definitely feel in the bubble of warmth and comfort, or whatever was said, of being with you on set and here tonight. Amy, you're amazing. It's a similar bubble of warmth and comfort, but different, that I feel amongst all these esteemed critics, and mostly different. Anyway, what was I going to say? That was very nice. And I was thinking about the irony of that story that she told about me on the set of Gone, turning my back to the camera or playing the scene, or I'm not exactly sure, I remember totally. Probably just didn't know what was happening, but I was, I distinctly remember many times on Manchester, after Kenny would call cut and saying, "What the fuck are you doing shooting on my back? This needs to be on my face." This is what it needs to be, to see the character itself and say, "No, just turn around, it's okay." So, anyway, this really is an incredible honor, because I, believe it or not, there was a time when I really loved to read reviews, film reviews, and because I would help me understand movies in a way that I didn't, and I didn't go to film school or anything, and people like Ken Masler, Pauline Kael, or Peter Travers, and I liked to read their reviews. They were informed without being esoteric, and they were critical without being snarky and personal, and they were often accessible. I remember reading Owen Lieberman's review of Shakespeare in Love, and he compared the appeal that Joseph Fiennes had to the appeal that Prince has, and I was like, yeah, I get that. That makes perfect sense. And it wasn't all highbrow and complicated. He just said it like it was. I was like, I want to see that. However, there are only a few people in this world that have liked everything that I've done. My mom and my neighbor a few houses down, who sees everything and likes everything and often gets the details wrong. For sure, the New York Film Critics Circle is not in that category. The people who see these always and like them, and just for fun, as evidence of that, in case you were wondering, I wanted to share with you a couple things. I'll preface this by saying I also think David Osteen is doing a great job tonight. He's a very, very charming guy, and I agree with all of the kind things he said about all these people here, hasn't mentioned me, and I totally agree, and it's made me feel a little bit worse about all the things that he's said about me, because it's hard to figure it all out. Anyway, I'll just share a couple because I think that they're pretty funny. Affleck, though likable, doesn't have a lot of variety and resorts to chewing gum to give his character a through line. Here's another. Affleck's line readings would be too mumbly and mulish even for the glory days of 50s method mama's boys, and he might as well be wearing a t-shirt that says "Shoot me." Fortunately, he's not the lead. I feel like that's fair. I wasn't the lead. And he's a really good actor who's in the lead, so both of those seem accurate so far. It's looking like whenever you see Casey Affleck in a movie's credits, you can expect a standard genre B picture, slowed down and tarted up. That is, I guess, apt. I'm sure it's accurate for many of the movies, not all of them, but Affleck hasn't been this mannered and frankly annoying since the assassination of Jesse James by the Robert Ford, which somehow brought him a Best Supporting Actor nomination for that little scene western. And lastly, from one of my favorites, Mr. Affleck mutters incoherently in a voice pitched too low for even a dog to hear. So, thank you. You're wonderful. say that 4 out of 5 of those may or may not have been penned by David Ellison. How does one survive such scathing and often accurate criticism? Well, in truth, there's really never been anything so horrible that's been said about me that I haven't thought of myself already and said to myself 10 times over. That's one way you can sort of preemptively beat them to the punch. The reviews of my own work in my head make Manoa Dargis look like Jeff Craig. Thank you. Jeff's not here, is he? No. Okay. Anyway, this is a really, really nice honor, and it's a very novel perspective on things. I really appreciate this, and it couldn't come from a more prestigious and slightly intimidating and wonderful group of people who most of the time really connect films to film lovers and contribute themselves to the arts as much as the people whom they're working and writing about. So thanks. And what separates, I think, this performance from all the others that David's written about has to attribute to Kenny Lonergan, because it's just a script that is that beautiful and complicated and rich and real, does most of the work for you, especially when he's shooting a lot on your back. And I'm not turning pages because there's nothing there. Kenny is one of my heroes, personally and professionally, and not just because he's sitting here. I would say he's my favorite living writer, and also working with Michelle Williams was such a delight and a joy, and she definitely made all of us better, elevated everyone's game. She's incredible to be around and watch and just sort of study, and try to keep up with. And so thank you to everyone. And the movie really would have a much smaller audience if it weren't for all the people hands-on that I look up so much. Thank you guys. Thank you very, very much.